fact that I broke the record for just about 20 seconds, it shows that if I were to slow for just 1 second for every single lap, I would have missed the record by a few seconds.
You can blame the referee, you can blame the competition venue, but the thing you can't control is how hard you train. Champions aren't made on the competition ground, champions are made at training.
Hi, I'm Vanisha and I'll be your interviewer for today. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
I am Shannon, and the events I took part in the medals I won is gold in the 20km race walking event, which I also broke the 20-year record, as well as bronze in the 10km race walking event.
Hi, I'm Ethan Yam. I participate in the sport of fencing. I participated in 3 events. I placed 5th in men's épée individual. I got gold for men's épée team and silver for men's foil team.
For starters, can you share the moment that ignited your interest in sports?
Well, there wasn't really a particular moment that got me the passion to excel in sports. I was exposed to sports at a young age by my dad when I was 5, and that sort of became the inception of everything. To me, sports is more like a lifestyle rather than something to compete with because of the challenges that it puts me and builds my personality, the people that I meet which goes through with me every thick and thin, and essentially just the joy in sports itself. And sports is something that I do which, as a pastime activity for me to recharge and reflect after a long day's work, a personal time and space.
For me, it's quite similar. Most dads in general like their kids to do sports, so mine was the same. When I was younger, he would make me run, we would cycle, we would swim together. Then when I grew a little older, I would try more one-on-one sports. But the thing is, I was never able to really excel in any of those. But then one day when I was 10 years old, my dad decided that I should try fencing. And ever since then, I've been in love with the sport.
Who was your biggest supporter or source of motivation to get into sports?
The biggest contributor that gave me the motivation is myself. In order to strive for extraordinary accomplishments, it's important to not rely on anyone else and be strong in yourself. People come and go, things change and leave. In order to strive for extraordinary accomplishments, it's important to not rely on anyone else and be strong in yourself. When you know your priorities and you know what you do, you work hard for it, and no matter the external circumstances, you can always succeed. I also like to take the opportunity to express my utmost gratitude towards the people who has helped me along the way, notably my coaches, who has been absolutely dedicated for my training and giving me motivation that I require, emotionally and physically. And also my parents, who has been supportive and giving me the necessary needs that I require, and friends who has been encouraging me and motivating me.
For me, there are 2 people. One of them is my 2 teammates because we've been together for many years and we've never properly competed in such a large-scale event before. We've competed in multiple team events around Southeast Asia, but we've never properly performed and won. No matter how bad we did or how well we did, we're always there for each other. Every time during training, it's just a competition between 3 of us to just push each other to go further, and that's what teammates are for. But they are not the party that supported me the most. I would say the one that supports me the most is my family, because when I'm down, when I'm angry at my teammates, or when sometimes things just don't go my way, my teammates won't understand. But because my family's been with me my whole life, they know exactly what I'm going through and they are there for me.
Can you share any challenges you faced while competing?
One of the most challenging and exciting obstacles which I faced was to break the record for the 20k race walking. The fact that I broke the record for just about 20 seconds, it shows that if I were to slow for just 1 second for every single lap, I would have missed the record by a few seconds. After making a gap between my biggest competitor, my focus was solely on keeping and maintaining the pace, because I know that I cannot let loose even the slightest bit despite the exhaustion. I'd say the biggest challenge for race walking is actually the subjective reality of how race walking works, of the judges and technicalities which actually stymied my progress in the 10k race walking. This is just how race walking works.
I've trained significantly more than I have in high school, and so that made my results a lot better. With results comes expectations. Even that it's a small scale competition because it's under 21, the pressure on my shoulders, even though I try not to think about it, it's always going to be there. So the only way I could say is to try and get rid of it. First is to trust God, because it is only through Him that all things are possible. And secondly is to just accept defeat, because the worst thing that happens is that you lose, and when you lose, it just shows you that there's a lot of room for improvement so that you don't make the same mistake again.
What was the most memorable moment throughout your time at SUKMA?
I would say the most memorable moments are being able to spend time with my coaches as well as my dad after the race, where I travelled with my dad around coaching area and tourist station nearby. Being able to spend time with your loved ones is far beyond reach of the satisfaction of a great achievement.
There wasn't specifically a greatest moment. I feel the experience of the entire week at SUKMA was one that I cannot forget. 3 of my events were only on the last 3 days. So the first 3 days, me and my teammates, we were all waiting very anxiously, and finally when it was time to compete, we let it all out and we won. When we win together, walking onto the podium, that is one of the best feelings ever.
How do you feel about achieving gold in your competition?
Even though I know there much room for me to improve in the future, I cannot deny that my performance this year and improvement has been extraordinary. Nonetheless, competition is over. It's time to cool down and to look forward again. SUKMA is just the beginning and it's just part of the process. There's more to look forward. And now that the competition is over, it's time to move on and look up to the next thing.
The gold medal, it means a lot. It's my first ever SUKMA. Being able to win it with my 2 favourite people, but you cannot really be surprised because we all all know, everybody understands the concept of how hard work translates to result, and all you need to do is just work in the right direction. It's like this. Your life is like a boat and God controls the oar, so He'll control your direction. And for you to reach the right destination, you need to row, and you need to row hard. If you don't row hard, no matter how much He puts you on the right path, you'll never get there. Getting gold is more of just like a translation of working hard and trusting God.
So do you plan on pursuing sports in the future?
Well, no, I do not. First thing first, if I had decided to pursue sports, I wouldn't be studying here. Secondly is that, as I mentioned before, sports to me is not something to be competed with, rather it's something more of a lifestyle. Something that you can learn from it and apply in different aspects in life. Essentially, I would not want to take the opportunities I get for granted, so whenever I get the chance to compete, I give it my best, and I try to push sports as far as I can, because I cannot deny the fact that sports is a really important and significant part of my life.
For me, I'll definitely be continuing to do sports after this because sports is basically all of my life. The thing is, for me, anyone can get straight A's, but sports, you can only have one champion. Without sports, it takes away a big chunk of my life and it makes all of my hard work feel like nothing. When I graduate from MCR, the university I'm going to is actually going to be based on their fencing training program. I plan to study in America because their universities have athletic programs that have produced Olympians. So my plan is to do that, to go there and to try qualify for the Olympics.
And lastly, what advice would you give to other aspiring student athletes?
The first thing is that academics should always be there first. It's okay to put your academics aside for a moment to focus on sports, but sports shouldn't come at the expense of completely neglecting the academics. Secondly is time management, and time management is one of the most crucial skills that every student athlete must acquire. While people are resting, you must be there studying, because while people are studying, you are there training. If this is the path you choose to take, these are the responsibilities you must learn to uphold. Of course, don't forget to give yourself some rest time too, because resting allows you to go further sometimes. It's important to find a balance between work and play, but discipline is very important. And lastly is never give up. A lot of times people choose to give up at the point where they cannot hold anymore. The point of choosing between giving up and not giving up is the point that determines whether you succeed or fail. A lot of people feel that you have failed once you don't accomplish success. The truth is that you've never failed until you actually give up. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel if you're willing to look forward and look at the bigger picture. Never give up and you see what lies ahead.
There's only a few things you need to keep in mind if you really want to be a student athlete and strive at both studies and sports. First things first, is to dream as big as you can, because people can tell you that a dream is delusional, but if you really put all your heart and soul and mind into achieving this goal, let's just say you really fail at the end, the values you've learned throughout this whole long journey will benefit you for the rest of your life, even if you really fail. And second is to work as hard as you can. You can blame the referee, you can blame the competition venue, those things you cannot control, but the thing you can control is how hard you train. Champions aren't made on the competition ground. Champions are made at training. Those who do the exercises, the extra reps that no one wants to do when it's hard. Champions are made when times are very, very difficult. And it is the strong mind that makes you a champion.
That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.